The best method that's out there, aside from having them, do a catheter and go in and look actually into your heart, um, is really not very accurate at all. There's a lot of misreadings in that, a huge bunch. I think mine was one of them because I had a 90% blocked circumflex artery, which is in the back side of the heart. So it's one of the harder ones to be able to see with any kind of technology, and so you can't really see it. So I was 90% blocked. And when I went into the hospital for indigestion, they did do the stress test, and it took them about 8 minutes on the stress test before they saw any kind of variation on my heart doing what it's doing. So they did go in there, they did take a look, and took their little, what's that procedure called that you had? The angiogram. They went in through that, and they did see the blocked thing, 90%. They saw a couple that were 40% blocked. So even though they didn't stint those two, they did see them and said they were 40% blocked, and I had a 90%. So when I went in there, I told them that they could not do any bypasses. They could not do any chemical stents, which resulted in a big uproar and a big battle with me and my cardiologist. In fact, it was one of those situations where the cardiologist became very unprofessional. And I say that not because I'm angry at the doctor. He obviously has his opinion. But if anybody knows me, I'm one of these guys that wants the information. I can battle. Anybody can fight. Anybody can argue. But I want information, and he was not giving me the information that I wanted. I wanted to know about chelation and what his thoughts were. And instead, he went right away to telling me about how Linus Pauling's, all of Linus Pauling's research had been disputed, which is an absolute lie. And that was regarding vitamin C and all this other stuff. It's he's a Nobel laureate, and actually twice. And his research was, a lot of it originally was over vitamin C and the immune system. And I can tell you that research works because, I've taken a lot of vitamin C for colds and flus, and I don't get the colds and flus. Very seldom. Very seldom. Maybe once every 3 years I'll get just the beginnings of a cold or a flu. I start pumping in large doses of vitamin C. It goes away in a day, day and a half. I'm down the road. So when I went in to the room, they did find this stent, or this occluded circumflex artery. They went ahead and stented it, and gave me all the drugs, which after I took all the drugs, the Crestors and all the other ones that went with it, I really felt terrible, absolutely rotten. And I took those for about a month and a half. It wasn't, I came back, I did 3 weeks worth of research on the internet over chelation and alternative health care. I looked at everything I could possibly get my hands on. I downloaded it, I studied it. Unfortunately, if you will, I couldn't understand the technical language that all these studies had. When they get into the deep, the first paragraph you can understand because it's usually a quick summary of what they're going to take a look at and the effects, but I could understand the summaries. So I did look at the technical data, didn't understand the real technical aspects, but the summaries, I understood enough of them to realize that there was some real hope here. And I also read the alternative ones, the ones that say it doesn't work. I read everything. Again, I wanted the information. Because I wasn't 100% sure, and now I felt my life depended on the fact of if I was going to try something, I needed to make sure that it was right. And I spent 3 weeks, and I decided that this is something I wanted to pursue. And I went ahead and met with the doctor, and he prescribed a regimen of chelation and another regimen of Plaque X, which is an excellent thing to infuse with too for cardiac patients as well. And I've been doing it ever since. So that's how I came in here. It was through a heart stent.